Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Small School AD on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's small school guest, but we want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, don't hit that fast forward button. These are all companies that I used as an AD or I've got a direct connection to, and I'm strongly recommending that you check them out. So listen to our shout outs, then listen to the segment, then go visit our sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to thank Gipper for their support. You know, your students, your parents, your fans, they're on social media. And if you're not posting, you're really missing out on a great chance to promote your teams and your athletes. Go to Gipper.com. Their team's going to have you creating world class content in seconds. Gipper's used and trusted by over 4,000 athletic programs across the country. It's professional graphic design made simple. Go to Gipper.com to get started. We also want to thank Snap Raise. If you've ever used a fundraiser and ended up frustrated and not raising a lot of money, you need to stop right here and go to snapraise.com. It's the best online fundraiser out there. We used it at our school with tremendous success. Our coaches loved it, our parents loved it. It works. Go to snapraise.com. You can check out their other great platforms, but if you're looking for a fundraiser, you found it. Go to snapraise.com to get started. We also want to say thank you to Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo and see their great products in action. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made as an AD was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com to find out more information. We also want to thank Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but as an AD, I was looking for a platform that was going to work for all of our teams, and Huddle came through like a champ. Our coaches, our kids, even our parents just loved all the tools that Huddle provided. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and take a look at their interactive touchscreen. That's right, touchscreen video consoles. It's also a great way to showcase your school's unique history and your proudest moments. The website is vitalsignswalloffame.com. We'd like to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day for things like scheduling, uploading scores, results, rosters. How about athletic eligibility and student clearance? Who doesn't do that every day? Home Campus does all these things, does it better, does it faster. It's going to give you a lot more time back in your schedule. To get started, go to homecampus.com. That's it. Go to homecampus.com. We also want to thank the Ohio University Online Master of Science in Athletic Administration. This is an affordable 20-month online master's program focusing exclusively on interscholastic athletics. When you finish, you're not just going to have your master's degree, you're also going to have 11 NIAAA leadership training courses. You're also going to be part of a nationwide network in athletic administration with connections across the country. To get started, just go to ohio.edu/info/MAA. Hometown Ticketing is the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. I don't think I need to say anything more. Go to hometownticketing.com. It's digital ticketing that offers more support, more security, more customization. That's hometownticketing.com. And we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents, your coaches, your student athletes, you're truly missing out. Athletic Surveys is going to connect you. They'll connect you to the people you already hear from, the complainers, but they'll also connect you to the 98% of your stakeholders that support your program. And that's a tremendously valuable tool to have when you're talking with a frustrated parent, maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey. It's going to let you take the pulse of everybody in your program. It's athleticsurveys.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Small School Athletic Director on the Educational AD Podcast. This is our weekly series where we feature athletic directors from across the country, even from around the world, who are doing the job at smaller schools. And our definition of a small school is, say, 300 or less at the high school level. We're going to Virginia today, and our guest is Greg Miller. He's the director of athletics at Faith Christian School in Roanoke, Virginia. I had a chance to talk to him before we started recording. I'm excited to hear what he has to share. So, Greg, welcome to Small School AD.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you having me on here. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Share a little bit about, your journey so far, how long you've been at Faith, how many students, that sort of thing. And then, let's hear what your small school tips are.
Excellent, excellent. So usually what I'll tell people is, I grew up in Knoxville, Illinois. It's a small farming community about 40 miles west of Peoria. And that's a little bit of a tidbit. And then the other thing is that I'm an ordained bishop with the Church of God. And I've been blessed to be married to my wife, Sunny Miller, for the last 24 years. And we have 3 amazing kids. And that right there is my number one priority. And that keeps me pretty busy. But in 2015, we moved to Roanoke, Virginia, where I had the opportunity to become a youth pastor. And after about 4 years, I became the South Roanoke area director for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And then in July of 2022, I accepted the athletic director position at Faith Christian School in Roanoke, Virginia. So a little bit about Faith Christian. Faith Christian is a private classical Christian education school. We're JK through 12 with a total population of 330. And out of the 330, we have 40 9th through 12th grade. We have several different sports selections, for our young men and women, anywhere from the middle school, junior varsity, and varsity sport level. So that's a little bit about me and Faith Christian.
I went to your website. We talked about this, and just, beautiful settings, nice field. Much of my early career was at smaller schools, including 8 great years at Coral Springs Christian Academy. And you and I were talking about some of the challenges that you face in those smaller enrollment schools. You want to have a quality program, and you had some. You shared some really cool things with me. Now, can you share some of those ideas and tips with our listeners about how to, not just survive, but how to thrive in that small school setting?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you can get jealous or envious of the bigger schools. So North Cross, they're an amazing school here in Roanoke. They got a full-time AD, full-time assistant AD, full-time, athletic administrator. And sometimes I think, with just different people I've networked in the small school, you're by yourself, or you might have a little bit of help. So the one thing that I've learned in the last 2 years, and this is how I labeled it: surround yourself with greatness. It's okay that you're not an expert in everything. I'm definitely not an expert in lining my field. So, I've had to find others that know a little bit more about that. I would say, like, my gift set is developing teams and donor development. So, just using a more an example that makes more sense. I'm not an expert on running our concessions. I ran it for a while. I did my best until I found, and the key word is until I found the right person. My advice is, don't just find somebody with a pulse. Oh, they're a pulse, they're alive, so let me put them in this spot, this void, this need. I want to tell you that when you put the wrong person in the wrong spot, it's going to create a lot of headaches. And the other thing is that you do not serve that person well. You're going to set them up for failure because it's not their specialty, it's not their passion, and they're going to regret that. Find the right person who's skilled. Find the right person that's passionate about the lane that you need filled. And once you find that champion, pass the baton, let them run with it. Let them vision cast. Let them take the lane or the area that you need help in to heights that you were never going to be able to reach, because this is their skill set and it's not yours. So have a vision for your department. Have a clear vision for the culture or the atmosphere or the program that you want to build. And my advice is this: is it going to be hard? Yeah. But from day one, roll up those sleeves, put in the hard work. And when you create positive change, people are going to knock on your door and say, I want to be a part of this. How can I help you? So that's my number one: surround yourself with greatness.
You know, you shared a little bit of some of the successes that you've had in your 3 years so far. Um, One that really stuck out for me was in the area of coaching. You talk about coaches are supposed to put kids in positions to be successful, whatever their set of gifts are. And you talked about putting support people in a position to be successful. Um, Share with our listeners, the coaching situation that you inherited and kind of where you are right now, 3 years later. And it's a testament to the things you talked about, hard work. So, share with our listeners if you could.
Sure, absolutely. I think one of the things that I guess maybe helps me in the recruiting of coaches, and I don't want to offend anybody because I'm very respectful of everyone's beliefs. And you may not have the same belief as me, and that's okay. I want to hear about it. I want to learn. I want to know more. And I also want to know how I come alongside you, even though you have a different belief than me, and how do I do life with you? So once again, we are a private Christian school. And when I arrived here, I just really spent a lot of time, praying and thinking, and what kind of program did I want to build? And so the program that I build, the number one thing that you hear from me, and this is going to connect the coaching piece, is that our identity is in Jesus Christ. Your identity is not in the number of points that you score on the basketball court, or how fast you run, or the number of goals you score on soccer. Because when the player gets injured and they're not valuable anymore, they struggle. And so in the recruitment of coaches, that's something I was able to share from the get-go with coaches. And so when I arrived, we only had 13 coaches. And in 1 year, we grew to 41 coaches. And we've kept those coaches because I then come alongside my coach. I get in the ditch. I don't micromanage. I break bread and want to do life with you because I see you as a person and you are valuable to me, and you just get to coach, but you are valuable to me. And I don't micromanage. I love on my coaches. We have a banquet for them. We honor them. I try to do handwritten notes. I buy them gifts. They are so valuable because they are on the front lines. They're with the athletes more than I am. And what I tell them is, your success is not defined by wins and losses. You have been entrusted with men and women. You have been given an opportunity to help mentor and mold them mind, body, spirit. And if you do it the right way and you take care of that assignment and then teach the X's and O's, our program will go back to the number one, identity in Christ. We'll do it the right way. And the blessings and the favor and the wins will come our way because we did it the right way. And, I'm blessed. I've got coaches that could easily make a lot more money at public school. Some could probably go on to the college level. And I even told one coach, I'm like, no, I'm not hiring you. You're telling me you want to be a part of the program. No, I don't want to set you up for failure. And he looked at me and said, I want to be a part of your program and I want to build it. And, that's that link in arms. And you're going to find people that share the same belief, that share the same passion, the same drive. And that's why I was saying, you link arms and you surround yourself with greatness, it becomes magical. It's fun. So
Yeah, just a ton of great points in there. And as you alluded to, not to minimize, that coaching stipend, but there's a lot of other factors that go into creating, a great environment where somebody loves to come to, whether it's come to work or come to coach. Very cool stuff. I think we need to get you back on the podcast for a full segment, but if one of our listeners want to reach out and pick your brain a little bit more, find out a little more detail how you do things there at Faith Christian, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
honestly, the best way is email. And my email is G as in Gregory Miller. So M as in Mary, ILLER at F as in Frank, C as in cat, S as in Sam, V as in Victor, A as in Apple.com. So gmiller at fcsva.com.
All right. Well, Greg, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day. I know spring is always the busiest time for ADs to share with our listeners. All the best for you and your programs there at Faith Christian, and that's in Roanoke, Virginia. Check out the website if you're listening. I think you'll be very impressed. And seriously, let's get you back on the podcast.
It'd be an honor. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you bet. We appreciate all the listeners, and we do this every single week. And the videos we record go on our YouTube channel, the Educational AD Podcast. Come back next week for another great small school AD tip, and just about every day for best practices on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Before we go, as always, we want to acknowledge our sponsors. Now, these aren't just, companies. These are companies that I used as an athletic director, and I'm really recommending that you get in touch and try to incorporate them to your team. We want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. If you're looking for a fundraiser, stop looking. Go to snapraise.com. Your kids and your parents are on social media. If you're not posting, you're really missing out. Go to Gipper.com. They're going to turn you into a social media guru. Home Campus is another great platform. It's something you're going to use every single day. I know I did. Go to homecampus.com to get started. Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was a Sideline Interactive product. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Athletic surveys by LifeTrack. We use surveys for everything at our school, and Athletic Surveys will create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. And Ohio University. I didn't get my master's from Ohio University, but our assistant athletic director did. And it was a great experience. And here's the thing. You're not only going to have your master's degree, you're also going to have 11 NIAAA leadership training courses, all in the same package. Go to Ohio University or ohio.edu for more information. Thanks again for listening to this segment of Small School AD. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.